Hey, it's Stray, and we are back. Happy New Year. Back when I had a goose sketchbook, I made a challenge for myself. I thought dragons are just flying reptiles, so why not create dragon designs based off real reptiles? So I'm coming back to this challenge, but modifying it for cats, and I'm turning it into a story. For context, all 3 of these cats used to live in a small city gang. Despite being really violent, this gang offered its members shelter, food, and a sense of belonging. Not for you, but all good things come to an end, I guess. One night, while the cats slept, a pack of wild dogs came by and killed them. The survivors called this the termination. These are the survivors. Coppercrawl is a slinky brown tom based off the ragged snake-eyed skink. He has a scar from fighting a crow and used to wear matching rosemary with his sister. Random facts aside, he has strong caretaker instincts, but is a bit skittish when it comes to meeting new cats. He finds it hard to think under pressure and quickly tends to follow someone else's lead, no matter his own opinion. On the termination night, he was sneaking off to find some extra food for his sister, who was struggling to fight an infection. Prey in his mouth, he followed the route back home, until a den mate slammed into him. She was yelling about dogs and needing to run. He asked about his sister, but he was met with a command. "Follow me, I know a place we can stay." He listened, with nothing left to lose, and with full faith in his den mate, they went into the rogue territories. I really liked how the vinyl design came out. Just like the lizard, I decided to do a light brown stripe down the back with light freckling on the legs to imply the scales. The scene he's in is when he catches the prey. Yeah, and I really like the lighting as well. If I had more time, I could have done more with it, but I think I might experiment with that more often. Next is Blue Soul. She's a round, blue and cream tabby based off the crocodile-faced Tutela. She grew up living with her brother, who taught her how to hunt, which houses will feed you, where to stay away from, and where to find shelter. But he soon left her to fend for herself. And Blue Soul is a social cat, so she eventually found the gang. But more on that later. She thinks of herself as a pacifist, and only trusts herself/her own opinion, due to her early life. So she assumes she knows best, even being dismissive of other cats. Most of the time she does have good intentions though. So, she joined the gang after falling in love with one of the members. It sounds cringe, but let the lesbians be. She didn't express her feelings, but got really close to the cat. With the cat. A week before the termination, a patrol went haywire, which ended up killing 2 of the members, her best friend included. She didn't take it well, building resentment for the gang with each passing day. Still grieving, she couldn't stand it any longer, and made a deal with a pack of city dogs that had been looking for their gang for a while. She shared the location, emphasizing that she wanted to kill their leader. It was a deal. So she padded back to camp and waited. When night fell over the camp, she made sure to take watch. Eventually, she heard paws hitting the floor, and they were there. They stormed in and just started killing. All of them. She fled before they saw her. Yep, so while she was running, she ran into something, throwing herself to the floor. It was copper. Maybe she can still save someone. No one has to know her secret. And finally, Torch. He's a big brown tom based off the pale-headed snake. His kitty pet name was Max. They're an older member of the gang, probably next to lead. They're quick thinking and observant, meaning he can understand personalities quickly, though he struggles to hold back anger. which to cats who don't know him makes him seem a bit brutish. Brutish.
Brutish. Brutish.
He's well respected despite this though. Him and the leader grew up together, and eventually they developed feelings for each other as well. So they had a kit together. He found showing his more loving side to be freeing in some aspects, but he could never let down all of his boarders. On the night, he heard the dogs coming, but at that point they were done for. Like the rats they eat, the gang fell quickly, laying the ground with thick red. A dog launched at him, putting him down, but Torch broke loose. He fought, guided by coldness and rage, and did fight her off. By that point the other dogs had decided they had done enough. He started to catch his breath to clean his wounds, but a rasping noise caught him. He turned and saw his mate, the leader, fatally injured. They said to keep fighting for him. Their eyes glazed over. For the next few days, Torch wandered the streets. His grief wouldn't be shaken off. He needed to survive though. He needed to pick himself back up. A watching alley cat told him where the other two members went. They both went to the rogue territories together to find Blue Soul and Copper. I really like how Torch's design came out. I kept the lizards, not the lizards, I kept the snakes kind of dark gradient happening, since its head is like almost completely white and the tail's black. I decided that Torch would have his kitty pet name tag wrapped around his paw, just with some string, which he keeps on him. The background is when they get to the rogue territories, so it's kind of like a barn, but mainly just like a grassy field. His ears are torn up, and I think his expression, it's like, he knows what Blue Soul did, and he's just figuring out what to do from here. Yeah, I like the details for this design, the shading's much simpler, and the colours are nice. And we'll leave it there. This is super fun, and all the story just from 3 little reptiles. If you want a part 2, help me out and comment the species down below. And if you like these 3, maybe I'll make an animatic about them, but we'll see. If you want to do this at home, I'd suggest just looking up a reptile generator. I used a book and I flipped to a random page and drew whatever's on there.